This is the Speak Easy podcast where we talk about the behind the scenes of what it is to be that speaker or that author, that successful speaker, that successful author, and paid that part. With that being said, I am your host, Altovise Pelzer, and today it's all about, listen, you have the power to really educate the world. Are you using it? People right now are getting revved up with the new year coming. They're getting all excited. You're about to see all these things on your timeline about who they cutting from their timeline and their friends list about, listen, what they about to do and new year, new me. But here's some things that I know that you probably have missed from your vision board. And why is that? It's because most people, when doing a vision board, don't even think about these things. Let's be honest. When it comes to you being able to educate the world, I have several areas where I educate the world through my podcast, through my World Voice League, through courses, through books, like live streaming. There's so many different ways for you to be able to educate the world. What are you waiting for? And I get it that so many people want to have, all the bells and whistles. They want everything to be perfect. But the reality is that right now, you could already be walking in your purpose. Right now, you could already be educating the world. What are you waiting for? So as you guys are coming in, I want to encourage you, make sure that you leave a review for this particular episode over on iTunes by going to bit.ly/Speakeasy Podcast Show. Let me know how this particular episode really resonated with you, or if you didn't like it, or if it was me talking too much. I get it. I understand. Every different strokes for different folks, right? That part. So with that being said, let's look at, educating the world takes 3 main ingredients. And I'm going to tell you a bonus ingredient that it takes, but it definitely takes these 3 main ingredients. And like I said, these are not what's on your vision board. I can guarantee you that you got the pretty pictures, but you're missing these 3 things. So with that being said, let me make sure that I'm being heard properly. We're talking about educating the world, guys. And I know for the longest time, people tell you to niche down. They tell you to, hone in on a target audience and a target market. You can't help everybody. Well, this is the thing. I'm not saying that you're going to educate everybody, but you have the potential to educate everyone in the world each and every day from the comfort of your own home and from anywhere you are in the world. You have the opportunity to educate everyone, but you're not taking advantage of it. And therefore, what ends up happening is you're missing out on revenue. You're missing out on opportunities to collaborate and to network. You're also missing out on opportunities to grow yourself. Because see, I'm going to tell you, these 3 things will grow your business. They always talk about 10xing your brand and 10xing your business. Well, these 3 things will 10x your brand. Matter of fact, we're going in 2019. We're going to say it's going to 19x your brand. That part, right? It's going to 19x your brand. Why is that? Because these are really going to be the things that put you in a position to move forward. So let's get started with number 1. I'm not going to delay it any longer. Number 1 is your eagerness to learn. That part. Your eagerness to learn will help you to educate the world. Something that I've found is that I'm up to about 2 books a week. Those who are in my World Voice League, those who are in my masterminds, any of my clients, they know I'm always reading and always finding out more information. Why? Because it gives me more knowledge to be able to share with them. Why? Because it allows me to learn and expand my territory. This is the thing. When you were little, you only knew certain things. You could only talk about what it was that you knew. Now, what happened when you tried to talk about something you did not know? Let's be honest. Let's be real. You were a fraud. That ain't true. That ain't right. My daddy said such and such. Listen, I get it. This is the reality, is that a lot of people are walking around with outdated information, and they're claiming to be the expert in their industry or the expert in their field, but they have outdated information. They have outdated tactics and outdated things. They don't understand the what social media can do. They don't understand technology. And so because they're unwilling to learn in these areas, or at least learn the basics, you're leaving money on the table. Somebody say that in their head, write it down on a piece of paper, put it on your mirror in red lipstick. I'm leaving money on the table. And be real about it. Where are you leaving money on the table? Where is it that you're leaving money on the table? By not learning? Everywhere. The more you learn, the more you earn. That being said, now you can go out and you can share even more information. Now you can go out and you can connect with even more people, because guess what? You have the information. Information is valuable. I need you to etch that in your head. Information is valuable. For so long, we've been taught that what we know is not really important. We've been told, sit down, shut up. We've been told, no, that's not as important as what I have to say, and really been talked over. And so as an introvert, I know for me, especially because I think more than I speak, people often think that I don't have as much resources and information as I really do. And I had this conversation with some of my clients just recently, because they were like, oh my God, coach, you're blowing our minds right now. Like, with all of this information, with all of this wisdom, people are really sleeping on, what it is that you have to offer. And I said, because I'm not the extrovert. I'm not the person that's in their face 24/7. I'm not the person that's the loudest in the room. And the reality is that even though I'm not the person that's the loudest in the room, don't discredit my wisdom. Don't discredit the information that I have. Don't discredit the knowledge that I have. That's the problem. We have this whole, microwave society, and we want to go and judge a book by its cover. Guess what? I'm not flashy. I don't like to shop. My kids will tell you that through and through. I don't like to shop. I'm not fancy. I don't wear makeup. I don't there's so many things that I don't do. So I don't come on looking like the model. I don't come on, well, I'm not the model size. I don't come on looking like the model or anything of that nature. So oftentimes people will overlook opportunities with me. They'll overlook conversations with me. They'll overlook collaborating with me. But you don't know what you're missing, because the wisdom that I have comes from my eagerness to learn. It does. It comes from my eagerness to learn, and not just learn a little bit, but to learn a lot. Again, I told you guys, I'm up to 2 books a week. I can show you books around my table. There's like bookcases are falling apart because I got to get new ones because I've been buying even more books. Guys, that eagerness to learn will literally explode your brand as a speaker. And don't think that you just have to learn about your particular topic. Something that I did in the beginning when I first did my accountability group was I was always learning about other brands, other companies that had made it past the 50-year mark, the 25-year mark. And I looked at the significant things in their business and how that could really translate to us here and now. And some of you are going to say, well, what they did back then didn't really matter. It doesn't really matter now. I beg to differ. Do you know that Double Bubble, that's what it is, Double Bubble, the bubble gum company, that they literally had to shut their doors for 2 years because they didn't have access to the resources they needed? If your company had to shut down for 2 years, would you be able to come back and still be as strong? If your business shut down, if you had to shut down for 2 months, forget 2 years, if you had to shut down for 2 months, could you come back strong as ever and still be successful? Because we still see double bubble today. Could you do that? See, that's why I go and I look and I learn from what the other companies had did. That's not even proper English. Have done. That's how I'm getting excited, right? When I look at Hers potato chips, their factory burned down, guys. Can you still go into a corner store, a bodega, a poppy store, and see a bag of Hers chips? Yeah, they're still here. Oftentimes, we don't look at what works. And when you're determined to learn, you have that eagerness to learn, you see what works. You see what obstacles there are, where people are able to take advantage of opportunities. You see all of those amazing things, but you also see what works. And when you see what works and learn what works, you can apply and teach that same model to somebody else. That eagerness to learn, I bet you that's not on your vision board for 2019. I bet you don't have that you want to read 24 books, a book a month, 2 books a month. I bet you don't have that you want to read 50-something books next year on your vision board. But your opportunity to educate the world begins with you educating yourself. I need you to take that and run with that message right there. The educating of yourself gives you the opportunity to educate the world. So your potential lies within you educating yourself. How bad do you want it? Some of you have been saying that you want to do this full time. You want to leave your job. How bad do you want it? Can I tell you, can I be honest before I go to number 2? When I was still working a job, I literally would go and read books on my lunch break. I would read books on my way into work because I would normally be taking an Uber or a Lyft. I would read books on my way in, books on my way home. I would listen to books on Audible. I would make such an investment. I went from reading maybe 1 book every 2 months to reading 2 books a week. 1 book every 2 months to 2 books a week. Educating myself put me in a position to be able to leave my job. I actually just had a meeting with my team about the World Voice League and all the bonuses that you guys are going to get and all the opportunities that it's going to open up. Guess what? I did it because I've been educating myself on what other people have done to build brands and build communities and what they do when it comes to being a company that's more interested in social change. With that being said, and knowing that that's the heart of my company, I have a better foundation. That part is important. And so, okay, so that was number 1, was eagerness to learn. What is your eagerness to learn? How many books will you read for 2019? Put that on your vision board. I was going to say, put that in your pipe and smoke it. That's so old school. I just dated myself. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I just dated myself. But yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. That part. Oh my goodness, that was horrible. Somebody's going to listen to this episode and say, what did she just say? Listen, number 2, the second thing that is really going to put you in a position to be able to educate the masses and really explode your brand is consistency. Can I tell you that consistency equates to cash? How about that? How about that? Consistency converts to cash. Why is that? I have people that have been following me for 2-3 years that are connecting with me now that want to be a part of a collaboration or that want to network with me or do some type of project with me, but they've been watching my consistency for 2 and 3 years. Now, I know we have it in our head about this whole overnight success thing. We've kind of been told it a little bit. Some people have talked about it a little bit. And an overnight success takes about 5 to 7 years. It's definitely not a straight line. It's kind of some bumps in the road. It's not a fully paved area. Matter of fact, sometimes when you're on the journey to success, can we be honest in saying that the way hasn't been paved at all? You're walking through bushes and forests, and there's no clear-cut design on how you should model your business when you're doing something that's new and innovative. So Tyler Perry didn't have a clear-cut model. He can create one for other people now, and he has one, but he didn't have a clear-cut model. Oprah Winfrey did not have a clear-cut model when creating her legacy and her brand. And so it was the consistency that spoke volumes, and it will convert to cash. So what I found that as a speaker, when you're first starting out, people don't know who you are. You're getting into the position of making sure that people know who you are, who you serve, and how you serve. Those in my brand, they already know. Those are the 3 that we're always showing up with, right? You know who I am, who I serve, and how I serve. Well, guess what? There are people that miss that model completely. And so they kind of stumble around trying to create this brand and create this business as a speaker, and they completely miss the mark. I have found so many people that will go and say, oh, well, no, I can do this. And, oh, well, I can do that way. And, oh, no, they gave us the new model, the new thing that we can do in order for me to make money in 24 hours. Can I just be honest? If you make it in 24 hours, then how confident are you that you'll be able to keep making it 24 hours after that? I get it. We got gimmicks galore. But the reality is that if you want something sustainable, you're going to need consistency. There is no way, shape, or form where you can do it and not be consistent. There's no way. I've watched people crumble and burn, guys, when it comes to their business. I've watched them crumble and fall by the wayside and never hear from them again because that consistency was not there. So what does that consistency include? It includes me showing up on a regular basis. It includes my content being consistent. It includes my demeanor being consistent. It includes me being consistent that when I show up here and do my broadcast, that I'm the same way on the Speakeasy podcast, that I'm the same way in the World Voice League. I'm the same way when you come to the Love My Voice tour in person. I'm the same person across the board. And I think we've been, swindled and kind of, run amok with, when it comes to people sounding all sweet and kind and considerate when they're online. And then you get into a class, they're talking to you like a drill sergeant, or they're cussing up a storm, or they're nothing the way they presented themselves online. That brand consistency is something else. I tell people all the time, you want to know what brand consistency can do for you? Google your name and see what comes up. And on the different links that come up, when you go to those different links, is there a consistency in everything that comes up? Your bio across the different places. When you're doing interviews, is there a consistent message that's being shared? Some people are all over the place. They talking about Ronald McDonald House one day, the next weekend they talking about pig farming. 2 weeks later, they're talking about doing beading and making bracelets. Guys, consistency creates cash. I need you to repeat that to yourself. Consistency creates cash. So in that moment, that as the introvert, I don't want to show up and do a live stream. I have to say to myself, consistency creates cash. I get it. I see so many people, they're here one day, they're gone the next, they pop in and pop out, or they only show up when they have something to sell. They only show up when it's time for them to sell tickets to their next event. They only show up when it's time for you to buy something from them. But the reality is that consistency creates cash. How many of you are trying to look to make more money in 2019? How many of you are trying to 10x, or as we said earlier, 19x your brand for 2019? Consistency creates cash. And when you understand that it's your consistency that's making you broke, that it's your consistency or lack thereof when it comes to consistency that's making your bank account be zero and negative, you'll get your behind up and get some things done. And you'll know the difference between busy work and productive work. Because my consistency creates cash. As a speaker, my consistency creates cash. So if I'm only live streaming once a month, is that creating cash? Do you have people seeking you out for you to be a speaker for their event? Do you have people seeking you out for you to be, to be somebody on your, on your team or somebody in your class? Do you have people joining your programs and things of that nature? Why don't you have people doing that? It's because you're not consistent. If you're inconsistent in one place, you're going to be inconsistent all across the board. And so why would I sign up with you for your coaching program and I don't see the consistency? Can I give you an honest feedback, an honest review real quick? So I was having a conversation when I was building up my mastermind communities, the Get Amplified Mastermind community back a year and a half ago. And before I launched it, I was talking to one of my team members and asking her, about pricing. I gave her a price and she looked at me and she said, "That's too low." And I said, but it's, this and that, we all had, how many of you have had the times where you go and you lowball yourself because you're thinking according to what you believe people will pay, not necessarily what they have paid, or you don't really do your research and all of those things. I'm going to tell you the power of consistency. She said, "That's too low." I said, but it's my first time doing it. I'm trying to feel my way through this thing. She said, "No, that's extremely too low." So I said, "Well, what do you mean?" She said, "I did a mastermind. The mastermind was about $500. And the mastermind, the person teaching, stopped showing up about halfway through the mastermind." What? And this is why we have so many people that are getting bad raps as coaches and as mentors. We get people getting bad raps. As a speaker, you're thinking it's horrible for you to teach a class because if that means I become a coach, and coaching has such a negative connotation. Can I tell you something? Oprah has a coach, several. Coaches are on, you see every sports team has multiple coaches in order for them to get the win. Why? Because you need the strategy. You need somebody that's going to push you beyond where you can push yourself. The reality, if anybody ever tells you that accountability is not necessary, they've lied to you, that part. They've absolutely lied to you, because coaching and accountability is everything. Because there's going to be a day where you wake up and you don't want to do it. There's going to be a day where you wake up and you're tired. There's going to be a day where you wake up and guess what? You don't want to travel. You don't want to go here and there. You don't want to do any of those things. And guess what? That coach is going to be the one in your ear. My clients always say, "Coach, I heard your voice and I got up." I heard your voice and I launched. I heard your voice and I just said, "You know what? Let me stop playing around. Let me go live. Let me go ahead and record this video." The reality is that sometimes you need that other voice encouraging you. But if they're not consistent, then why would you want them to be an inconsistent coach for you? The same thing goes for you. As a coach, as a speaker, if you're not consistently showing up, if you're not consistent in the thing that you're doing, then why would anybody want to be a part of that? And so here it is. She told me about a mastermind where she showed up, and halfway through the mastermind stopped showing up. And it happens more times than it should, guys. Your consistency creates cash. Say it to yourself in the morning. My consistency creates cash. You want to know why it is you can't live stream every day and you're like stumbling through? No, because you don't realize that consistency creates cash. If you're putting all these big numbers, some of you put 5 and 6 and 7 figures for your vision board for 2019, but you have not put consistency and that consistency plan on your vision board. So what will happen is you'll be excited in January. You'll be excited in February. You may even still be excited in March. But by the time April comes, you're not going to be excited anymore. And that consistency is right out the window. They don't see you no more. I see it every year, guys. I see y'all are about to see a whole rush of coaches that are like, yes, and I'm here to teach you. And I get it I would be rude. I'm not going to do that on air, y'all. But I would be rude and send you and let you hear the messages that I get in my inbox, because people are revving up right now to try to get some clients in for January because they want to start January strong. I don't even see you consistently promoting the thing that it is you're selling. I don't even see you consistently talking about what it is that you have to offer. But you want me to be a client. How, Sway? How? We got to get back to understanding that consistency creates cash. So for those of you that are not consistent, you need to listen, figure it out. You need to get yourself in the right community. That's what the World Voice League is all about. It's about a community where you can come together, get that consistency, get that support, that part. If you go to bit.ly/get reactivated, you can actually come in and join before we switch it over to the World Voice League. Right now, it's still as the accountability group, Reactivate Me. So you can get in before we switch it over. Guess what? Once we switch it over, those bonuses are coming in, and you will only have 4 times a year to join into the World Voice League. So that part. As we move and shake, move, stretch, shake, let it go. As we move and stretch, it is about that consistency. You guys get a weekly accountability call every Saturday morning, a weekly accountability call. You get that consistency. There is an arsenal of trainings that you will have at your beck and call, where you will be able to go in at any time and just take some time out and learn and sit down and invest in yourself. Remember what we said number 1 is your eagerness to learn. Number 2 was that consistency. And you just saw how both of those are a part of the World Voice League. So you guys definitely want to get more information about that. bit.ly/get reactivated. Now that takes me to number 3. And this is like my heart cry when it comes to vision boards. I love vision boards. I love the opportunity of putting, your ideas and your dreams on paper. But a lot of people will do a vision board, put their dreams and ideas on paper, and not have a clear-cut plan. When I say a plan, I mean, how are you going to make these dreams a reality? Because if they're not, if you don't have the plan, what ends up happening is, guess what? It just stays a picture on the board. And we want this to be more than just a picture on the board for you. As a speaker, I want you to be able to come off of your job and say, I do this full time. As a speaker, I want you to be able to say, I do this because I'm passionate about it and I'm working towards social change. I want that for you. So with that being said, you got to want it enough for yourself to put some things on paper. So literally my clients have been in my phone, in my inbox, emailing me like, Coach, it's time to get my strategy session as we prepare for 2019. Coach, I need my strategy session. Let's go. I want to get it done. All right, let's go. Listen, they've been going and calling me out because they're like, it's time to get that strategy session. Why? Because a strategy session sometimes will get you in line with a clear-cut plan. Can I tell you that a lot of times we have all of these things on our vision board and we think that we have to do everything at once. When you have a clear-cut strategy, I don't have to do it all at once. I can plan it out. I can section it out. Listen, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Y'all out here trying to eat the whole elephant without even chewing. Guys, what are you doing? And that's what happens when you do a vision board. You don't have a plan. So I tell people, you got to add some things in. So adding in that plan, adding in that strategy is so key. It's so necessary for you as a speaker to be able to see that success that you're really trying to have. Because granted, you can have a 7-figure year. There are speakers that have 6-figure and 7-figure and 8-figure and 10-figure years. Guess what? They have the strategy. They have a dream. I have a dream. Listen, it starts with a dream. They got to put it on paper. They got to be consistent. They got to be eager to learn. If I don't have all three of those, guys, we cannot say that we are looking to do something amazing if we're not willing to do the work. Again, we cannot look to do something amazing if we're not willing to do the work. I've seen people try it, and a lot of them are nowhere to be found now. So with that being said, I got to say that the bonus is accountability. Having that accountability, it speaks volumes. It really does put you in a place to where having that accountability allows you to be able to say, you know what? I'm not feeling it today. I need to reach out. Having that accountability will be like, you know what? This doesn't sound right. I really need somebody to say, if it's just me because it doesn't sound right, doesn't feel right, or if I really need to reach out and say, maybe it's just me. But let me go ahead and talk to somebody about it. Having that accountability puts you in that position. The reason why I did the weekly accountability call with Reactivate, that's about to be underneath the World Voice League, was that literally I saw so many entrepreneurs not having anyone to talk to. I saw so many entrepreneurs and speakers and authors not having anybody else that they can go to when they realize that, this is work. I was talking to somebody about that yesterday. This is work. Guess what? I guess I'm in my passion and I'm working my purpose, but this is still work. I still got to show up. I still got to do some things. I still got to plan some things out. And sometimes the plan that I have, let's be honest, it's the sky, is the limit type plan that, I can do everything that I can go from making $100 in 2017 to making $9,000 in 2018 to making $1 billion. Like, guys, what? What are you talking about? What? Did you just say that you were going to make what? How much money in 2019? No, that's not how this goes. And so we really have to understand that plan is going to dial it down a bit, because it's possible to go from making $9,000 in 1 year to making $1 billion in the next year. But without a plan, it ain't gonna work. It's not going to work at all. But it sounded good. Let's be honest. It sounded good. You get an A for effort. You get a high five up top. But outside of that, it's not going to work. So that plan is definitely necessary. And that accountability really does help. And so since doing that, we've been going 2 years strong. Since doing the accountability call every Saturday, it really gives entrepreneurs the opportunity to come in and say, listen, this isn't working, this is working. It gives them an opportunity to come and collaborate, connect with other people. It gives them the opportunity to come in and really hone in on, you know what, this is a business. No matter if I came in as an author, it's still a business. I'm still an entrepreneur. No matter if I came in as a speaker, this is still a business. I'm still an entrepreneur. And I got to understand the business side of things if I'm going to make this a success. I see so many people that want to be a speaker and they're kind of doing it haphazardly. They're kind of doing it as the side hustle to make an extra couple dollars here or there. And they consider that, you know, the event paying them is the only way that they're the paid speaker. So they miss out on those things that we talked about, how you can educate the world earlier. I'll recap that part, you know, the courses, the books, the trainings, the interviews, the live streaming. You have so many ways that you can educate the world. But without that plan, you're not putting those things on paper. You're not even thinking about those things. Guys, it's time for you to take the vision off the board and really make it happen for 2019. I get it. Everybody's doing vision board parties. I love vision boards, but guess what? We got to have some things in place so our voice can be heard in the world. That part, because we want our voice heard all over this world, simply because you never know who will need it, how it will help them, and how it will impact the next generation. You never know who will need it, how it will help them, and how it is going to impact the next generation. Because that is what we have the potential to do, is we have the potential to set the foundation, to plant the seeds that are going to feed and house our children and their children. We have what it takes to create the foundation and plant the seed that is going to feed and house our children's children for years to come. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys. For those of you that don't know, this is the Speakeasy podcast where we talk about the behind the scenes of what it is to be that successfully paid author or speaker. With that being said, I am your host, Altovise Pelzer, the voice coach, founder of the World Voice League and World Voice Summit. Guys, we are doing some phenomenal things next year. And if you're a speaker, you definitely still have some opportunity to be a part of that summit. Go to bit.ly/World Voice Summit, all lowercase. And don't forget, again, go and leave us a review over on iTunes by going to bit.ly/Speakeasy Podcast Show, all lowercase, because we want to hear how this particular episode really impacted you, or maybe you didn't like it. That's okay. Tell me, let me know. I'm always looking to learn and to grow. With that being said, I appreciate you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys somewhere up and down the timeline, that part. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.